Guys, stop apologizing for being proud of yourself. Sometimes people that talk to me, they'll be like, oh my God, they'll be like, I'm sorry, man. I feel like I'm just talking about myself. I'm like, hey man, listen, it's okay to believe in yourself around me, buddy. Okay? You're giving me hope. When good shit happens to people, I get hopeful. Cause that's the positive about being selfish.
Welcome to FredTalk, where if you're not learning, hopefully you're laughing.
Welcome to Dolocast number 10 of the FredTalk podcast. This is a solo live stream where, I just get it out. We're going to do some thoughts. We're going to do some jokes. We're going to do some bad impressions, guys. But at the end of it, we're going to come out. We're going to be like, damn, that shit was fun. That was awesome, guys. Hey, before we get started, I want to let you guys know that I'm streaming to Instagram right now just through my phone. And if you want me to be more interactive with your comments, I would recommend hitting the link in my bio if you're on Instagram and joining the YouTube chat. It's a little bit easier. I'm going to try to hit this IG chat as well, but if it gets too crazy, I will abandon it and just focus on the chatters in the live stream over here. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. But I'll do my best here with Instagram. Thank you for joining, guys. Awesome. Guys, World Local News podcast every Tuesday at 9:30. Make sure you check it out. Tomorrow, Greg and I are going to have some fun. We're going to talk about power. We're going to make it a little more abstract than we have been the past couple weeks. We've been diving into the political stuff with Capitol Hill, but we feel like everybody's a little tired. So tomorrow's episode is going to be a little bit more abstract. A lot of questions being asked. Expecting a really good conversation. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Straight up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's where you're going to find most of my stuff. Just subscribe there. That's where you'll see things coming up. Between IG and YouTube, if you follow that, you'll know exactly what I'm doing at all times. Well, most of the time. Most of the time. I got to switch here and let my Facebook people, I got to open up the comments here every single time. Make sure the Facebook is popping. The Facebook, guys. All right. Let's see. Edit audience. Awesome. How was everybody's week? Huh? How was everybody's week? Everybody doing all right? Everybody, everybody out here getting it done? Let's see. Bam. Perfect. Something just happened to my Facebook. Hold up, guys. Hold up. I'm trying to do too much here. Now playing, edit audience. We're loading up here. Guys, how was your week? How's everything going here? Wanted to catch you up. The other day, I had a buddy of mine. He gave me a call, and it was such an inspirational phone call. If you've been keeping up with the Dolocast recently, you know that a few weeks ago I was talking about hobbies. A new hobby, new you. Maybe your depression, quote unquote, maybe the malaise, maybe the rut that you're in your life, maybe it could be shaken up by a nice little hobby, something that you used to do when you were a kid. That's usually a good place to start, I think. And I was really happy to hear a close friend of mine who called me the other day and he told me that he started a new hobby. And my favorite part about it was the energy, everything he was explaining, everything he was explaining, he just had this energy to it. And what he was explaining to me was a man that has found flow. Now this is a person that, he's in his mid-30s now, and most of his life, he got it, typically by then you've been attached to some kind of thing, some kind of activity-oriented thing, I feel like. It's safe to say that most 30-year-olds by then, either you've been on like a soccer team or you've been in some kind of club, something that took your attention and was like, this might be something that you might even attribute to why you've made it to where you are or not. If you don't have one, that could be a little bit rougher. But this guy was, a baseball player through and through. Was, constantly just obsessed with it. And now it's crazy to see one of your close friends go through this thing where they're like, all right, maybe baseball was the thing that's potentially getting me ready for this next thing. So he picked up pool. And it doesn't even matter. baseball, pool. Those are just inputs. You can just put anything down that you were attached to, something that keeps your focus, makes the time go fast, and makes you feel really fucking good. That's the quick and dirty of what a flow state is. That's my shortened opinion about the whole thing. So he called me and I was just inspired. I literally started clapping after he was explaining to me how excited he was. He was like, "Oh, dude, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." I was just smiling. I was already picturing myself watching him play at pool tournaments and all this stuff because I felt that excitement. I know what that's like. And he was one of these people that through the depression phase, the midlife crisis, whatever you want to call it, we would talk all the time. We had the ups and downs, and when I found comedy, I felt like I had that something that like that rope that helps pull you out of the mud to get unstuck, gave me some purpose and shit like that. And now my buddy Hayes, he's found that, and that's so fucking cool. And I really, Susan, I can see I can see comments on YouTube. Hit the Facebook chat if you can. That way I could see if the Facebook comments are coming in. So I was just happy to see my buddy just in that zone. So if I could wish this on anybody for this year, if you're feeling stuck, just start at the basics. I know with our society, it makes it feel weird to pick up a hobby, but hobby might be what could save your fucking life. You might not hate your job. You might just be, you might just needed a hobby to give you a new swag at work. Maybe it wasn't work that you hated. Maybe it wasn't that you didn't have an outlet. And I've repeated this before, but I really do. I'm a firm believer in this. If you're feeling unstuck, do some hobby. Don't worry about generating income. Just do it for 20 minutes a day when you first start. 15 minutes a day, something. Draw, start writing a book, something. I just think it helps. Hearing my friend talk like that, had that energy, and it was like, 2:00 where I start to die down a little bit. Midday is weird for me. I'm a morning person and a night person. Midday, I'm just all like, what the fuck is going on? What's the point of all this? And his story got me out of that feeling. I love it. I love it. So that's a dude talking about, he was telling me a story about how he was in flow. And then this weekend, I got to watch a man that was clearly in it. If you saw the UFC fight with Max Holloway last weekend, you saw a guy in flow. I guess somebody mentioned that afterwards, but literally while I was watching the fight, I was like, oh shit, this dude's feeling it. With how many punches he was throwing, how loose he was while throwing them, I was like, this man's in the fucking zone. And really, watching anybody in the zone doing pretty much anything is pretty fucking inspiring. Even if you're not into that thing, just watching someone do the thing will get you going. It might even give you that spark. If you've seen the movie Soul, I'm going to cover the movie Soul in a separate thing because I think I can go really deep into that. But I've posted about it a couple times, and I highly recommend it for anybody. Once again, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling blah. This thing really, truly, even if you're doing well, watch that movie, and it'll still give you a better appreciation for the little things in life. It's so freaking, it's awesome. It's like similar to Inside Out, a little bit different, but a little more abstract. And it's cool, I thought, how they did, how they portrayed the afterlife and all that. So check out motherfucking Soul if you get a chance. I'll have that as a separate Dolocast topic. So please, check that out. Max Holloway, dude. I mean, I know I used to be a amateur mixed martial artist, and I don't keep up with it a ton. It's weird, right? A lot of people ask me. I used to be an athlete. I was a third string Division I wrestler, and did mixed martial arts afterwards, pretty much because I just had this hole. I chose partying. I chose my social life over my wrestling career in college, and it was something that just kind of like ate at me for years after I got done. Gained like 50 pounds after I got done competing, and it just was not. It was not the look, guys. It just was not, and I needed to do something to get back in shape. So I was like, fuck it, I'll get in a cage with a dude. I'll tell him I'm gonna fight at this weight, and I'll have to make that weight, and it helped me lose the weight. And I had my first fight, I was winning. you know, I was winning handily, but I was getting tired. And then I got fucking armbarred at the end of the second period. At the end of the second round, I got armbarred. It was devastating. I wanted to do one fucking fight just to say, hey, I did an MMA fight. And that's kind of cool. Tried something new and something intense. My buddy Alejandro says I'm washed. You're 100% right. That's whenever someone has a microphone in front of the face and they're not actively in the athletic, they're washed. That's everybody. So freaking, you know, I lose this fight and I go, holy shit, I can't go out like that. I can't go out on one. That's not going to sit right with me. So I ended up fighting 3 more times, won those 3 fights. I was 4-1. It was fun. And I had a plan. And I was like, I'm going to quit it once I get a corporate job. And that's what I did. Who knows if that was the right move or not, but I needed that for my sales career. Needed that for my sales career. So Max Holloway, dude, watching that, I just like watching greatness. That's it. Watching somebody in the zone. Like I don't watch football, but when I watch a couple of seconds of Tom Brady playing versus somebody else, you can tell a difference. Also, Tom Brady married someone that makes more money than him. He's a fucking G. That's why I like Tom Brady. The football comes second for me. For me, the number one thing with Tom Brady is the life decision to marry a woman that makes more money than you. All right? Because that's where I'm at. My girl's the breadwinner in our family. All right? Because I don't date bum bitches. All right? I don't date bum bitches that make less money than... I'm just kidding. Oh, shit. Nah, dude, I mean, that's a fucking power move. She has way more to lose than him, and he's killing his game. She's killing her game on their own level. They're fucking vibing. I mean, you just at greatness at any level. You watch somebody in flow, you get fucking inspired. If you don't, then you got to do something to fix that. You got to clean the instruments, as I call it. All right. Watching people in flow is so inspiring. It'll make you want to, at least makes me want to bust through a wall. And you already know I'm excitable as shit. I'm excitable as fuck. And I like that. Sometimes it's a little too much. I can see people taking a step back when I'm talking to them, but that's when I'm like, okay, I need to maybe knock it down one notch or something. This girl today was like, do you remember the first time we met? I was at one of the coffee shops I go to. And she was like, do you remember the first day we met? I'm like, no, what's up? Already. I'm like, what the fuck did I say? I'm like, what wild shit did I say? Whatever. Because immediately I go to that, but it wasn't that. She was like, I asked her name. Her name is Letty. And immediately I go, Letty, my name is Freddie. And like legit, like got when she told me the story again, I got happy again. I was like, oh, that sounds exactly like something I would say. Cause I don't really remember what I say. I just know when someone says like, yo, you said this and it sounds like something I would say. I'm like, oh yeah, that was it. Cause, and then also the excitement came back. My man, Matt Collins, he says, I've seen you flowing, my friend. He has, bro. Matt Collins, essentially, he was a big brother. He was one from one of the rich towns bordering Yonkers, and he used to come to the hood. My man used to come to the hood. He's my first waspy friend. He used to come to the hood and pick me up, and we used to drive to New Jersey and Pennsylvania together because that's where the real good wrestling is. And we used to go and get better out there. That shit those are fucking memories I would never forget. What's up, Matt? My boy. Love it. So pick up a hobby, guys. You want to get closer to the flow state. It's not the only answer, but I started longboarding when I was 31. Definitely changed the quality of my life. Still to this day, I've gotten people hooked on it. They say the same thing. It ain't for everybody, but the point is a hobby probably is for everyone. Yeah. What we got here? I chose taking out the enemy. There we go. Some people join the military. They hit the flow state. I mean, talk about strategy. Talk about, putting your life on the line. That's one of the easiest ways to get into the flow state is to put your life on the line. It really is, because you have no choice but to focus or you will die. And I think that's why I like longboarding, because I can't be on a phone. I can't be daydreaming like I do. Find something that makes you happy. Susan says that in the comments. I love that. Start with that. Think about the shit you used to do with a kid and go do that. It'll make you feel better. You'll feel like up here. All right. Now, let me tell you, last week I had a story where I was down here. I had a low confidence day, guys. I got to tell you about this one because 3 weeks ago or so, 6 weeks ago, something like that, on my Instagram, I posted about a anxiety spin that I had. You know, one of those days where I could not focus. I took my medication, my Adderall, whatever. Could not focus, could not get it together. I'm spinning. I'm social media scrolling. I can't decide to fucking do something. You know? I can't, you know, it's frustrating. It was frustrating. Can't, you know, and then you just get, you know, it's whatever. Luckily, you know, 2 years ago, like I mentioned in my other Dolocast, those used to derail me for days. Now I try not to have a 0 day. If I could, at a very bad days, I would only get maybe like 1 or 2 things done. But this was like, you know, it's just one of those spins. I talked about it on social media. It took me a couple hours to post because I like posting all the stuff, and I definitely love posting days when I'm feeling down. But I have this weird thing of like, I don't want it to come off like I'm trying to tell you how to live your life if you have anxiety. I just like to put my shit out there and then kind of like ask questions, and just all it is a different perspective to hopefully help somebody. And that post did on Instagram about the anxiety spins and you know, using breath work to kind of get out of it. Honestly, posting that shit to social media for me made me feel better. Especially then I got this is before I got the positive feedback from it all. Got a ton of positive feedback. People loved it. It was relatable as fuck to a lot of people on a deep level, which is really what you want. But the other day I had a low confidence day, and I felt like these two things were different. Right? I feel like these two things are like they can be confused for the same thing. Susan says Xanax works too. I love that. It does. These two things can be confused for the same thing, but they're not. To me, the anxiety thing, it kind of stays up here more. You definitely feel it in your body with the nervousness, maybe the tenseness, but that feels like up here. It's almost like a dizzy feeling for me sometimes. The low confidence day for me was a little more, I think it was deeper. It was a lot of uncertainty about just life. And I hadn't felt like this. You know, when I was in the throes of depression, this was a constant thought, or constant, like, just feeling. That's what it is. One's a feeling, one's a thought. This was a feeling that just nothing is going to work out. Nothing is going to pan out the way you think it is. You set your goals too high. It was like self-doubt. It was all this shit. You know, for hours, I was like that in the morning. For hours in the morning, just freaking, it was just low confidence. So my eye contact was weird. And it was weird too, because I was watching myself do it, and I couldn't, like, I'm like, what the fuck? I know what I'm doing. I know, you know, I know what I'm doing here. It's blah, blah, blah. I couldn't, like, I figured if I was aware of it, it'd be less, and it wasn't getting worse, but it was just there. And I'm like, what the fuck's up with me? Like, what the fuck is going on? So I fucking head up the old fucking you know, the old Power Ranger, fucking hit my girl up. And thank God she wasn't on, like, because usually my girl, when she's working. And she had time for me, and I just word vomited. She had the availability from a time standpoint, emotion standpoint. And I have no problem telling my girl when I'm feeling good, but I also know that there's, like, I feel like there's a meter bar for that. And correct me if I'm wrong. This could just be manly pride or whatever you want to call it. But I try to use those sparingly, because I don't want to fall into like a victimhood mentality, anything like that. But thank God, dude, I used this card, and it came through in the clutch. It was a 30-minute conversation, and I just got everything that was on my mind. And I, like, to the point where I was like, I started off with, like, yeah, I just got all this stuff to do, and this and that. And then as I kept talking, then I was just like, I just feel low confident. I don't know if anything's going to work out. It's tough, especially when you're going for something that doesn't have, like, the roadmap. Like, I'm not trying to be a doctor. I'm not trying to be a lawyer. Like, this thing, going for your dreams, is fucking, there's days where you get scared as fuck. And the other day I was scared. So shout out to my girl for being there. It was like, we got done with the call right around lunch, and I was feeling so much better. Like, so much better. So people, fellas, don't be afraid to, you know, have 1 or 2 people you can call. But then also, I don't know, realize that, like, not everybody gives a fuck about your problems. even the people close to you. So you really got to find, even within the people close to you, like who you can talk to when things are down, and then also check and make sure that they have the availability like on an emotional level and the time level as well. But it was I don't know. It was great. It felt good to get it all out. It was awesome. So guys, if you are here, we're going to move on to the next part. Just wanted to catch you guys up. I really thought it was cool, the phone call I had, and then just to talk about that low confidence day. Today's the body of the episode. We're going to be taking the attachment style quiz, guys. All right. If you fuck with the love languages, then you might want to fuck with this. This to me seems like a more like a deeper understanding of how you give love and get love. This seems to go another level. It's called attachment styles. This was something that was brought up in like the 60s or something like that in psychology, and like many new ideas, people are like, nah, fuck that. Right? Think about that. Like a lot of, even in academia, there's pride, and there's people that have worked years to come up with a theory. And then if, let's just say, some new dude comes up with the thing that's like that disproves the long-standing thing, you're going to get a ton of fucking hate. To the point where like the pride can get in the way where things that are factually correct over the previous thing may not even get published because they don't want to disrupt things too much. That shit even happens at the academic level with intellectuals. So you gotta keep your head on a swivel out here, man. You really got to keep your head on a swivel. So we're gonna get started with this quiz now. I'm gonna do it. They said 10 minutes, but it'll probably take me 15 to 20 ish. And then after this, I'm gonna go into today on Instagram. I asked a question to men and women. What can the opposite sex do better to be? What can the opposite sex do to be better in bed? And we got some answers there, so I'll make sure to check you guys out. Let's see. Attachment style. Boom. First question. I can be very emotionally present with others, friends, family, partner, strangers, but it takes me a while to build trust and share vulnerable things about myself. I can be very emotionally present with others, but it takes me a while to build trust and share. They do true or false here. For me, this is false. If you want to take this quiz, attachment.personaldevelopmentschool.com. I'm going to hit false for this one for me. I'm pretty open up front, which causes a lot of people to tell me, like, I'll meet somebody for the first time and they're telling me about, oh, yo, I love you too, Marcos. Gosh, the block. Shout out to Carroll Avenue. Shout out to motherfucking, oh my gosh. Yeah. I love you guys. Question number two. I often put other people in my life on a big pedestal. Partner, friends, family. On a big pedestal. I look up to anybody in my inner circle. I have at least like one thing that I fucking admire, and it's usually something I don't have. So it's like, I'm like, oh, I love how this person keeps up with phone calls and stuff like that. Like, he calls me. I got friends. If you're friends with me and you talk to me on a regular, you're probably making the bulk of the phone calls. It's a character flaw of mine. I hate it. It's caused a lot of unnecessary strife in some of my relationships. I've gotten better with it, especially with my mom. Like at one point, I was so bad at calling my mom and everyone else. People would be like, dude, and I'm like, dude, I don't call my mom that much either. It's for no reason, really. And it's not an excuse. I'm just like, if I'm not calling my mom, dude, what the fuck what makes you think I'm going to call you? There's a long line, but thank God I'm over the past few months been getting better with this line thing. And it's something that I'm actively working on because I don't want people in my life to feel like I don't care. And it's not anything personal. It's one of those things where you got to be aware of your own idiosyncrasies and just kind of like keep them at a healthy level. You don't want to be like, I'm doing me all the fucking time. I set all my boundaries, and then all your boundaries are actually, some of the boundaries you set could potentially be toxic. Especially if you overcorrect and go on a tirade where you're just like, maybe you weren't setting boundaries, then now you're going hard the other way, So I have been getting better with calling people. And that's been good. So that's a deep character flaw of mine, of something that I want to get better at. So, bam, let's see. Question number 2. I often put other people in my life on a big pedestal, partner, family, friend. I'm going to say false to that. Number 3, I feel naturally comfortable and safe expressing my feelings, needs, and loved ones. Yes, true. Oh, you know what, guys? I didn't even read I want to read the different categories before we keep going. So there's 4 categories. There's fearful avoidant attachment, anxious preoccupied attachment, dismissive avoidant attachment, and secure attachment. I'm going to go through these, read a definition. I'm literally just Googling, so I'm just getting you to the thing. And if you're interested, you can go on your own rabbit hole, but I'm just guiding people to the rabbit hole. So the first one, fearful avoidant attachment. People with fearful avoidant attachment may show signs like stormy, highly emotional relationships, conflicting feelings about relationships. So this is like, in parentheses, says both wanting a romantic relationship and being fearful of being hurt or left by a significant other. Withdrawing from relationships when things get intimate or emotional. I definitely have some of that in me. If you follow the breakup episode, I feel like that fearful avoidant might have been, so I feel like I definitely have that shit in me. It's like you're constantly questioning, and you're in a happy relationship, especially if you're used to chaos, like you're used to trauma and shit like that. You know, the fearful avoidant people, you're always like, what the fuck? Why is this? You got to get used to things being good. And that's part of the healing process, you know, from what I hear, from what I'm, you know, just from like therapy and shit like that. So fearful avoidant, stormy, highly emotional relationships, questioning shit, withdrawing when things get intimate or emotional. I definitely have some of that in me. I think the bulk of the bad stuff though is gone. I definitely, in my early 20s and shit, commitment, what? All right. The next category, guys, anxious or preoccupied attachment. All right. Adults with anxious/preoccupied attachment style might think highly of others, but often suffer from low self-esteem. Adults with an anxious attachment style are often afraid or even incapable of being alone. They seek intimacy and closeness and are highly emotional and dependent on others. I don't think I have any of that in me. Not saying it's bad. But I'm just thinking of my life. That's just something I don't have. I know there's a lot of people like that. There's like codependency, things like that. So anybody in that camp, this, you know, maybe this is somewhere you fall into, you know, maybe, you know. Okay. Next one, dismissive avoidant attachment. I already feel like I'm a little bit of this too. Avoidant, anything with avoidant, I'm there. Let's see. People with dismissive avoidant attachment style are often described as lacking the desire to form or maintain social bonds, and they don't seem to value close relationships. Oh shit, I think I'll put myself in a hole by saying I'm this. No, I like close relationships. I just don't call people that much. I imagine calling you, and I envision conversations that we have, and we have a blast in my head, but I don't know if I think I value close. Maybe I'm not this as much as I thought. These people report, for example, that they're comfortable without close emotional relationships and prefer not to depend on others. I don't know. Maybe I am a little bit of that. We'll see. All right. Secure attachment style. The last one. An example, someone with secure attachment style is comfortable expressing their affection for their partner. They do not hesitate to set boundaries, and they can also accept rejection and disappointment. That's the sweet spot. That's where you want to be. You want to be mostly that, it sounds like. Based on these 4 things on the attachment style quiz, you want to be, I think we all want to go for that secure attachment, right? Secure motherfucking attachment. All right, back to the test. Question number 4. I feel very upset when others infringe on my need for space or time alone. Fuck yes. True. That is so true. I'm probably a little hypersensitive when it comes to that. I'm like, I don't know. Rachel will tell me something like, what's the deeper meaning behind this? So she's like, dude, calm the fuck down. Calm the fuck down. All right. Number 5, I'm willing to work through challenges in a relationship before suddenly trying to leave the relationship itself. If you're not in a relationship, think of how you would handle conflict in a partnership. This was fucking true as shit for me at a point in my life. I was definitely like, you know, any little thing you'd be like, I'll fucking go. It doesn't even matter. Am I bothering you? Now, when you go through the, you're going through the healing and all this stuff, then, you start to realize that all that shit, like, it's like anything in life, the thing you're looking for is through the problem. And when you hit that groove in a relationship, I'm just speaking from personal experience, where you go from not communicating well to communicating a lot better. Obviously there's still more work to do. You fucking figure out, you're like, I know I can make it through the other side of this conversation with things being resolved. That's a good feeling. Willing to work through challenges before suddenly true. I'm going to say true for that. I'm very attuned to others' needs and often put them before my own and resent it later. No, I don't do that. I know that's something that people do. They'll, offer a bunch of shit and then expecting that's why you gotta, don't do hints with anybody. Don't do fucking tell people what you want. That's why I love Eastern European people. Eastern European people, you know exactly where you stand with them. I've met Eastern Europeans from a bunch of different countries, and that's one of the temperament, the main through line in that part of the world is that they don't fuck around. There's no fakeness. I mean, they will tell you how they feel about you, and that is very comforting for a person like me. So I'm going to say false on this. Attuned to others' needs and often put them before my own, and it's the resent it. I don't resent. Yeah. Not judging anybody that does, but obviously if you follow this podcast, I've been working super hard at, shit and doing therapy and all that. So I'm going to go false on that. Number 8, I constantly want to be emotionally closer to my partner. This can also apply to my close friendships or romantic interest. I definitely always want to be close to Rach. It's kind of like it's something I have to be aware of, that I'm not being too, because I'm very affectionate, very touchy, and she's not as much as me. So I have to be aware that I'm respecting her space too. Sometimes people don't want to be fucking touched. Straight up. That's what this can also apply to my friend. I would say true to this. Constantly wants to be emotionally closer to my partner. Yeah, I value, like, when you're having conversations with someone, real shit. And there's just a feeling that comes with it, and that's what I lean to. I'm effective at compromising and communicating. True. Not saying I can't get better at the communication part, but definitely good at that. At that. Number 10, it's very difficult for me to set boundaries unless I'm angry. I can sometimes set excessive boundaries and push people away too dramatically out of anger. No, I don't set boundaries when I'm angry, but I'll cut a motherfucker off pretty quicker than the average bear, I think. Which is good for some things, but not good for others, because then you might leave too early, But I feel like sometimes maybe conversations don't need to be, or conflict doesn't need to be as perpetual as one thinks. Maybe sometimes you need to take 3 months off from talking to your sister or sometimes that's what you need, because that's how the other person processes information, and it's really fucking hard, but some people do it that way. Boundaries push way too. Yeah, I set boundaries out of anger, so I'm gonna go false on this one. If I notice my partner showing any signs of coldness, I panic and want to get closer as quickly as possible. This often happens to me in friendships as well. I don't like the word panic, but I'm going to hit true on this. If I see my girl kind of being like, if I notice a change, I definitely ask. I check in. And this isn't something that it's like every day or weird, but do I panic? Panic's a very specific word. Now I'm going back on this. Closer as quickly as possible. I'm going to say false. I don't panic. I just ask her quiet. I don't panic. I definitely used to panic. I would say mid-20s, beginning of the relationship I'm in now, definitely panicked. Don't panic anymore. So I'm going to hit false on that one. Number 12, it is not uncommon for me to experience, it is inward emotional turbulence. That is so true about me. I'm not done with the sentence, but just that part. It is not uncommon for me to experience inward emotional turbulence throughout the duration of my romantic relationship. Oh, wait, hold on. About the relationship. This applies to close family. No. Inward emotional turbulence throughout. I'm going to hit true because, you talk about the avoidant factor question earlier, where you question things, even if it's good, all that stuff. And then the not calling, I'm going to say, and there's definitely inward emotional turbulence when I don't keep the promise to myself of, keeping up with calling my mom and shit like that. It affects me inside. And I know that. So I'm going to hit true for this one. Inward emotional turbulence. All right. I often feel very hot or very cold towards my partner or family members. I tend to operate in extremes of how I relate to others. I'm going to hit hot or cold. I am pretty extreme. I'm outgoing, and then I just get like in my head. It's not necessarily like I'm cold towards them. I'm just now quiet and thinking more than talking. I'm going to hit true on this one. I'm going to hit true. I know that I'm worthy of a healthy and happy relationship. Fucking true. Didn't always think like that. Thought I did, but when you do the work, you realize you're like, what the fuck? When I feel hurt by a loved one, I often have a strong fight or flight response. I find myself wanting to push this person as far away as possible. Friends, family. No, I don't do that. Maybe used to when I was younger, but definitely don't do that. False. I do not feel as though I need anything from my romantic partner or loved ones. It can be difficult to conceptualize how others would meet a lot of my needs. I think I'm gonna go true on that one. Do not feel as though I need anything. No, because I have the philosophy of like, I don't know. I feel like I don't need anything. I want to be around you. I want to grow a relationship with you. I guess I do need it on a human level, but it's not necessarily like, especially with the romantic partner, like we don't need each other. We want to be with each other and we want to grow because we recognize that we recognize the connection at multiple levels. Like that, that's how I look at it. Yeah, no, then we'll go false on this one. No, wait. It feels like I need my romantic partner. It can be difficult to conceptualize. No, I don't even look at my needs as like, oh, nobody's going to fucking meet my needs. I don't even look at it like that. So maybe that's something else. Maybe that's a low self-esteem thing I have. I do not feel. I'm going to go false on that one. I do not enjoy being out of romantic relationships. I often fear being alone. Do not enjoy. That's false for me. If a loved one's behavior hurts me, I will express my feelings and try to understand what caused them to act that way. Fucking true. Fucking explain to me why you... I'm having a tough time here figuring this out. Like, I always want to know the explanation as to why someone did something. I'm like, especially if I don't get it, I'm like, hold on. How did you make that thought leap? Question 19, I hunger for closeness, but I fear the emotional difficulty of it at the same time. Hunger for closeness, but fear the emotional difficulty at the same time. Unless unless you need me to call you every day on the phone, we should be pretty good. We should be able to go to long stretches of time we're not talking to each other and picking up where we left off. At least that's how I look at it. Like, hunger for closeness, fear. No, I'm going to say false for this one too. I do not like making social plans with others in advance. I often fear being trapped by commitments with other people. I'm going to hit true for this one. Yeah, if you've ever tried to make plans with me, there's like this weird thing. I'm still getting used to using a calendar. Another character flaw of mine that we're highlighting here. I find that setting boundaries comes naturally to me. For me, that is fucking true. Yeah. Some may say the boundaries are a little too fucking hard, but you know what? That's cool. Everybody's got their thing, right? I focus much more on the relationships in my life than I do on myself. No. No. For me, here's another character flaw of mine, and it's a double-edged sword. I'm fucking self-absorbed, guys. If you couldn't tell by the podcast that I named FredTalk, right? I took the Ted out of that and put the Fred. I mean, who the fuck do I think I am doing that, right? Not even on this live stream, right? Even on this live stream, I got a little picture the podcast artwork, which has my face on it. It's kind of redundant when I'm literally on the screen. So there's something a little bit with me and thinking about myself more than others. That's not even, luckily, it just so works that this is what I want to do, is make people laugh and make people feel better and about life and shit like that. But who fucking knows? Flip of the coin, I could have been one of these assholes. Maybe if I would have had another, like if I could sing, or if I had hazel eyes, maybe that'd be too much good going on in my life. That'd be the straw that broke the camel's back, and I'd be a fucking monster. Who knows? Could be something as little as that. So this is false. I focus on myself, and I'm working now to be more thoughtful to others, especially like in my inner circle, with the phone calls, with the fucking, getting more creative in my relationship. Somebody in the comments says, it's hard not to be when you're so high on the gene pool. Hazel eyes. I'm telling you, the light-skinned dude with hazel eyes, you got to be careful with theyose motherfuckers. They're on a whole different level. So this is false. So my character flaws that we've highlighted since we started this segment. I don't call people. Really, I'm getting better at it, but there's still a lot more work to do. It's all under the umbrella of self-absorbed, and we can all tell that, if you watch my Instagram. Come on. All right. Question 23. I often feel protective over my space, privacy, and belongings. I'm more about my space and like my time. Privacy is whatever. Belongings, I don't really give a shit about. Definitely don't feel, no protection. No belongings, I'll fucking kick them out the window. I don't give a shit about material things. I watched one documentary on minimalism, and that was like all I needed. I was like, oh, yeah, great. We don't have to revolve our life around material things and keeping up with the Joneses. That's a very controllable thing that I no longer need to have in my life. This is awesome. This is great. So this is a false for me. I generally feel invaded when my partner or loved one demands too much physical affection. No, I am a Hispanic man. I love physical affection. I'm going to be flirting with you. I'm going to be smacking your butt, caressing you. I have a girl. This is for my girl, guys. Yeah, before I start getting fucking DM slides unnecessarily. All right. I'm a taken man. Generally feel invaded when no, false. I would prefer to spend most of my free time with my partner. If I were to be in a romantic relationship, it would be hard to want to do things separately. I spend my free time with my girl because we have very, very busy schedules. So all the free time is for us, and we make that shit count. Now, if I have free time and she's busy, then I go do my other stuff. Prefer to spend, I'm going to say, it would be hard for me to want to do things separately. No, that part of the question completely null and voids it for me. I think it's unhealthy if you can't do something without your partner. It's weird. Or if you're in a relationship where your partner just they wear you down. I know dudes like this. They don't even want to ask to go out anymore because they don't want to go through the hassle of trying to do the sales pitch. Someone in the comments is saving me here. She says, you can't be that self-absorbed given you've been in a loving long-term relationship. That's fucking true. That's all right. All right. Here's another thing about me. Another character flaw about me, guys. You just reminded me. Thank you. I'm hard on myself. Like straight up. I have to have my friends stop me in my tracks and be like, dude, you're good. Like fucking. Thank you. That was very nice. Kind words. I love that. Look at that. You guys uplifting me. This is great, guys. It's a self-fulfilling loop, positive loop here. I would prefer to spend most of my time with my partner if I were to be in a romantic relationship. It would be hard for me to want to do things separately. That's a false. If you are afraid to do things separate, you got some work to do. And this is just my opinion, guys, right? 26. I feel that it is easy to be vulnerable with my romantic partner or loved ones. True. I kind of force that. I just say things and I scare away the people that don't like to live that life, and you just attract the ones that do. And if you want to live this life of like expressing yourself and being honest and saying what's on your mind, here's the thing, guys, be ready to apologize. If you're doing it right, you're going to say some fucked up things. You might hurt some feelings directly. I'm not talking about if I'm on stage making a joke, I'm not apologizing for a joke in my act or anything like that. But if I'm like, I meet someone new, I have this thing where it's not this thing. It's just something I do. I meet someone new and if I like you, I'm going to make fun of you in a way that, we both laugh. Most of the time, 9 out of 10 times it works. It's a feeling thing. I can tell, but in the rare chance these days, when as I get older, you get better at it. And the rare chance that I do hurt someone's feelings, I make a wrong call. I'll be like, oh damn, I'm so sorry. I was joking around it, do it out of love. My apologies. And that's it. But just be ready to apologize if you're trying to live this life of expression and authenticity, and because you're going to make mistakes along the way, and you need to be ready to ask for forgiveness at a moment's notice. All right. After some critical thinking and shit, 27, I find that my partner or loved ones usually emotionally recover from conflict before I do. I'm going to say false, because I got that avoidant piece in me, guys. That avoidant piece makes you kind of brush things under. So I deeply fear being abandoned by my partner or love interest. Deeply fear. I'm going to say false. I'd like to answer this question if it ever happens, like if Rachel just leaves me all of a sudden and then go watch me, because right now it's easy to say that, but if she walked in and goes, hey, I'm leaving you, blah, 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 I've already booked another place, I who knows what the fuck I'm going to react like there, but I can say deeply fear. I'm going to say I don't deeply fear that. It's like, I'm going to make this shit count. So if you do leave, I can go, fuck, we had a fucking blast. I'm only sad that we can't have more fun. Not like living every day scared. This is not it. False. All right. All right. We took the quiz. I got 18% on fearful avoidant, 0% on anxious preoccupied, 18% on dismissive avoidance. See that avoidant? I hit the 18% in both the avoidance. So I have almost 40% avoidantness in me. And then the rest of the percentage of the 100, whatever that number is secure attachment. So mostly secure attachment. I think maybe that's where you want to score. I don't know if the goal is to get to 100%. If somebody could help me out here in the comments, if you enjoyed this, let me know. So I think these are pretty good. I sent my results to a friend because I did take this quiz last Friday, and she said that those are good results. I just need to make sure. I forgot what she said. Something about making sure that I don't whatever. I'll figure it out. But it was good results. All right. Okay. Last topic of the day, guys. Non-confrontational. Hold on. Let's see this. Let's hit the comments. Who would leave you? Oh, look at that. Are you 38? No, I'm 34 years old. Your generation is self-absorbed. Yes. Yes, we are. But I also feel like the boomers are as well, but in a different way. It's very odd. I would like to juxtapose my generation, which are the millennials, between the boomers, because I think they're two deeply, deeply flawed generations. I feel like Gen X is kind of like low-key killing it and being like, what the fuck? And I don't know what Gen Z is doing. I don't know. Let's see. Some relationships have an expiration date. That's very true. That is very true. Sometimes, and isn't that the worst too? Like, you can be doing everything right on paper, that then somebody just loses the feeling. And the feeling is really what keeps everyone in, right? You ever ask somebody, what are you looking for? And they give you this list. And then at the end of the day, really what you want is you want that feeling. You want that feeling of like that connection, that fucking, gosh, I love spending time with this person and I want to spend more time with them. That's the feeling we're going for. And sometimes that's the problem with feelings, is when it's not thought out, then you attach to something that feels like the feeling, but it ain't really that, you know? In the comments, she said, I'm a boomer. I could be your mother. I'm cracking up. You can be my mom. My mom's like 53 years old. My mom was the original teen mom. Out here representing the chemistry. Yes, absolutely. You want it. It's that you need that, but you need to make sure that it's coming from a safe place as well. Because sometimes the chemistry could just be a trauma bond that you think is love, but is really just could potentially be some toxic shit that, we haven't really gotten over. But that's what the healing's for, guys, right? That's why we take these quizzes and do all that stuff. All right. So early on Instagram today, I asked men and women, what can the opposite sex do to be better in bed? And we got some answers here, guys. I'm going to read the women's answers first and then the men's. And you tell me what the difference is, all right? There's 11 answers for the women, all right? First lady says, give a damn about the woman's pleasure. That pops up a couple times on this list. It's weird. All right, so the woman's pleasure thing is weird because you would assume that if you're having sex, like that's what you want to do. But there are people out there that don't give a fuck about pleasing the other person. They're just either laser focused on the conquest, which is something guys can do, especially high achieving men that accomplish things. You can fall into that trap of having selfish sex, unpresent sex, and I don't think that's really what you want to be doing. You know, there's this thing on the internet going around with people being like, I still beat, right? That's the thing. Like a girl's like, oh, this guy can't have sex. This guy has a little dick, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's response is, I still beat, meaning he still had sex. And people think this is like the knockout punch that can't be beaten, but I disagree with that. Like, who wants to be a bad lover? This is kind of fucked up. You know? It's weird, especially for something so intimate, yo. It's sex. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's like a scam thing. I don't know. And this could be because I was a heavy, people pleaser, probably rooted in low self-esteem and things like that. So that was a way to validate myself. Not only, sleeping with women, which I have slept with a lot of women. It's whatever. Trying to find validation or whatever. To then having more of like quality, like making that flip where you're not so fucking. You start the healing process and you start thinking. So give a damn about the woman's pleasure. Simple, but care that you're fucking, you're having sex. It's essentially like you're entering, it's just your restaurant. I hate to use a food analogy where you're eating, but you go into a restaurant, there's an experience from the time you walk in the door to the time you leave, and there's different points you got to hit before then. For someone to go, damn, this place is awesome. It's fucking great. I need to tell people about it. That's what you want. You want people to start referring you. You want to be getting referral dick or referral pussy out here in these streets, people. All right. This is how you get a self-sustaining business. All right. Number 2, it's all about the anticipation. Tease and more teasing before going in for the money, but the money shot. She uses money shot, but I don't think it's like the way they use it in porn. I think it's just like going in for penetration. And the teasing, guys. A lot of foreplay. I've heard this. I was having a conversation with some friends the other day. It was a couple months ago, and it made me really sad because but it was a lot of girls, and they were like, they said that most of the sexual encounters they've had have been not good. And that shit made me so sad because I feel like if I ask men that, they will have the inverse answer, I think. All right. That's sad to me. That means that we're doing something wrong. And this is why that conversation was actually the basis for me asking this question on Instagram and covering it on my Dolocast. The next comment, I can't express this too much. Communication, guys. That one comes up probably the most out of anything is the communication aspect. And we'll get more into it here. Someone said, hide snacks around the bed. A bitch be hungry. Right? That came from a lady comedian. Funny as hell. But snacks come up later on in this too. Communicate what they like and don't like. There we go. Communication again. What do you like? What do you not like? I'd like to know how someone... What if you're like in a long-term relationship and now you're into some weird shit that you've never done before, but you want to do it because you want to try it? Like, how do you communicate that? Right? I'd read the book Crucial Conversations. It'll probably help you if you want to do some crazy shit in bed with your significant other and it's some new thing and you afraid of being judged and shit like that. Like, if you're long-term, you should be okay with really letting out the filth that's in your head with that person next to you. Like, there's things that I keep for just Rachel that I can't tell you motherfuckers because there's some things I got to keep to my relationship, Communicate what they like and don't like. Slow down. Here's the next one. Slow down, guys. Right? This goes into the teasing and more teasing. Give a damn about a woman's pleasure. Slow down. Listen. Learn your person that you are with and make her feel sexy. Somebody said in the comments, if you can't communicate that crazy shit, they are not the one. And I fucking agree. As long as that crazy thing isn't like, you ain't hurting anybody shit. Like this is like crazy thing that pertains to what you like. That's a good way. You need to get there. If you ain't there, you need to get there. I like that. Communicate what they like and don't like. Remember, slow down. Listen to your person that you're with. Learn the person you're with. This is important, guys. Sex isn't a fucking manual. From what I've heard, this is great. I like covering this because I've been both a bad and good lover. So this is, I get this. I've been too quick. I've been unpresent and just like, oh my God, she's letting me, and it's fucking tough. You break focus. You go into that fucking bunny rabbit sex. Like, oh gosh, especially if you're just starting out. Jesus. So be present, guys. Slow down. Listen from your person that you're with. Let's check these fucking comments real quick. Me neither. False. True. Kicking your tummy. Let's see. Hold on, guys. My bad. Hold up. The jewelry helps. Foreplay starts days before. I like that. Foreplay starts. Yeah. I had one of my podcast episodes. We were talking about that. I'm like, I feel like, especially like in a one night stand scenario, foreplay is like the minute you meet the person, especially for women. Guys, we're fucking dumb like that. We don't give a shit. We're just like, ooh, tits, ass. But it is what it is, bro. We're dudes and we fucking rock. I'm sorry. I love being a dude. Can't express this too much. Communicate. Slow the fuck down. Another slow down, guys. Slow down has come up more here than anything. Slow the fuck down. Foreplay. Slow down in bed, guys. You want to be better, listen and slow the fuck down. You got to listen the whole way through, right? From the moment you're not in bed to in bed, right? Another communicate and talk about your needs. Here's a very, very specific request from a lady. Men, please stop flicking the clit like you're playing pinball. And also start massaging the entire vagina. Don't go straight to penetration. That goes under. Guys, slow the fuck down. Tease. Foreplay. Study the clit. This person is leaving you with homework. Okay? Sometimes you got to brush up on the fundamentals, man. I was an athlete for most of my life. And recently I had realized that I hadn't like brushed up on like fitness shit and all that. And I had to go back to the basics because I just assumed I had it because I did it at one point. But I needed to fucking, I needed to brush up. And now all of a sudden, look at me. I'm tracking my fucking calories. I'm doing this thing. If you follow this podcast, you know that food is a fucking drug for me. I binge eat. It's like, I love binge eating. It's one of my favorite things to do. And because I went back to the fundamentals and I listened to a podcast, it got me, oh shit, that's right. Oh, that's why they do this. Stop thinking you know everything. Go back. Sometimes I would go back and just learn the ABCs again, just for fun, just to make sure I got it down pat. You know what I'm saying? Hit that LMLOP, right? LMLOP. All right. Another great response here. Let's see. Oh, stop flicking the clip. Guys, slow. So right now what I'm getting here is communicate your needs and wants to make sure you're getting what you want and that person's getting what they need. Slow the fuck down, dudes. Slow down and a lot of foreplay. A lot of foreplay. It sounds to me like 80% of the experience should be foreplay and then 20% should be the, make them orgasm before penetration happens, just so you know you got it in there. You know what I'm saying? Here's another one. Ask more questions and be more reciprocal. Yeah, don't be fucking greedy, guys. Don't be fucking greedy. This ain't government assisted sex here, right? You got to fucking go out here. You got to learn the stuff and you got to apply it. She says, some dudes be lazy, selfish, and lack creativity. Guys, be present, guys. Be present. We got to listen. You got to listen to her body language. Listen to what she's, the breathing, all that shit, dude. It's fucking goddamn. It's a whole full-time job now when you have the guys. This is what we got to do. Last one here. More afterplay and coziness. We got snacks coming in again. She says, a nice snack is always appreciated. A nice snack is always, so snack came up twice here, right? So I'm thinking you listen, right? The foreplay starts when you meet him. Bop, bop, bop. You're thoughtful. You're present. Present is the fucking key. I just look at it like comedy. Like I'm not thinking about, you start you get in the bedroom. A lot of us guys might be thinking like, gosh, can't wait to put my dick inside of her. This is going to be great. When there's like obviously this whole other part that's super important according to the women I've talked to and the women that answered this poll today. You can't rush it. You're trying to learn the alphabet. You're trying to get from A straight to Z and you don't even know any of the other letters. You ain't hitting that LMLOP the way she wants. You're going right to Z. You're trying to be the alpha and the omega. You heard alpha, you loved it. You wanted to go right to the end and then fucking beat your chest because you got something new. We're past that, guys, right? I'm talking to guys over 30. I don't give a fuck about guys under 30. I'm just kidding. Anybody who finds this good, I'm cool with. But I just don't like that I still beat attitude. That seems to me like it's not a very honorable reaction when someone's like, I didn't have a good time. Like that's fucked up. Marcus, the movie Gladiator, like, what would he do? What would he do? You know what I'm saying? Somebody in the comments here says, ladies, be more oral. I know a dude is thinking it and not saying it. Yeah, the guys' answers for this thing were trash. I'm going to get to those in a second. And then I'm going to get to another, when I run for president in 2052, it has to do, I'm going to just go ahead and lay out the plan now before I get to the men's shitty answers compared to the women. For 2052, I already go to my other Dolocast. I already talk about the immigration plan I'm going to do and the campaign for dudes to have fresh smelling balls. That's two things already that I'm doing for my 2052 presidential run. My next one for 2052, if you vote for me for president, all right, people that enjoy giving oral sex to others, you will have first comes, first serve when it comes to any kind of stimulus package, any kind of tax break. You no longer have to pay income tax federally if you like giving oral sex to other people. You are a cherished national treasure, all right? We need more people like you, all right? And if you're one of these people that pretended to be into oral and then 4 years in, you just stopped, this is all assuming that this person is handling theirs as a significant other, and you just stopped all of a sudden 4 years in, you don't want to do it anymore. We got to figure that out. You got to hit the therapy. You got to do something, figure it out. Cause sometimes it happens. Sometimes when you get deeper in, it gets more intimate and it happens. I'm just saying, pay attention. When you talk about listening, listen to that shit too, guys. If a girl's like, she makes a face like she doesn't want to suck your dick anymore, like something's up. Maybe you're not washing down there. Maybe she fucking went through your phone and saw, I don't know. All right. So 2052, people that enjoy giving oral sex to others, you will have tax breaks. You probably get universal basic income. I don't want to overpromise. All right. I don't want to overpromise to you guys. I know you're living the life out there, putting your face in people's genitals. You're loving it. People are sitting on your face and you're like, oh, wow, this is awesome. But I need to make sure that I don't overpromise and underdeliver. All right. You will get tax breaks and you will get first priority on any kind of stimulus package or anything like that. All right. So shout out to people that enjoy giving oral sex to other people. We don't talk about you guys enough. We really don't. Good for you. Good for you. All right. Here are the men's results. I got 5 compared to the 11 I got from the ladies, right? First one. I fucking hate, I was not going to post the men shit because I was like, this is fucking, obviously these guys are joking, but this goes to show you. Number 1, let me sleep. Now, I like to do that little nap, that 20-minute nap after an orgasm, but dude, let me sleep. The number 2 is Kegels. He says, do Kegels. So now he wants a tighter pussy. Well, how about you have a bigger dick, buddy? How about you ever try that one? Huh? All right. When in doubt, put it in your mouth. Fucking that sounds like the last line of a cheers. Like you drink them and say, they got those people got the limericks that they do before they cheer. When in doubt, put it in your mouth. I mean, that works for a beer and a dick, I guess too. It's these are the guys' answers. So we have let me sleep, Kegels, when in doubt, put it in your mouth. Commit to the ride. Now, I've seen this on social media, guys complaining that women start riding and then they can do it for 2 seconds. And this is not my joke, but they said the check engine light goes off on the knees. Frankly, every time I've never looked at it as like, yo, bitch, why don't you keep on riding? It's more like once you get in that position, I'm like, whoa, this is like, is she an Olympic athlete? What's going on here? Like, that's a taxing position. Have you ever done a squat or a high intensity workout and done a bunch of squats? If you during the quarantine, you're probably doing this. Like, I'm going to do an at-home workout, and by squat 65 in your set, you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? All right. So I actually, I get that one. Commit to the ride. And then someone says, is it too much to ask for a pair of clown shoes? See, this is men just are not taking it. Guys, we got to do better. My Instagram following dudes, let's do better. All right. So make sure if this poll comes around again, I might add to this too, but really the dude at the end of the day, the answers also show me too that dudes, there's just less you got to do to us in the bed to just make it happen. Right. But it sounds like men, we need to do some listening here. Listen, be present. If you could do one thing, I think is be present. Cause then you're flowing with it. You're being a human being. And sex is one of the most fucking human things you could do. I mean, I guess, it's not just for humans, but you know what I'm saying, guys. All right. At least to connect at the level that we do, because we're the ones that have sex for recreation. Other animals are doing it for like a purpose. They want to make another thing, They want to, humans are out here doing it recreationally and apparently mostly bad. So let's do better, guys. Subscribe, rate, and review to the FredTalk podcast. Thank you so much for joining. Let's see if there's any more. Here we go. Trust me, as you get older, it gets so much better. Wow, we got a boomer coming in here in the comments she says, trust me, as you get older, it gets so much better. Good night. Oh, all right. Afterplay is good. I mean, guys, thank you so much for joining. I love it. Had a blast. Tell me if you thought this was good. Did you enjoy the taking of the quiz and all that? Pedro, what's up, baby? Ganaron las Aguilas. Dominican Baseball League is on fire, guys. The Águilas, the Eagles have won. If you follow Dominican baseball, we just got that. Thank you so much for joining on the Instagram chat. If you guys want to join, be more live I think I covered the Instagram ones pretty well. So we'll just keep it like this, run it off the phone. And then we got everybody else. We got YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook got live. So guys, thank you so much for joining. Share my work with a friend. All right. I'm going to be putting up clips of these solo episodes. Share it to your Instagram story if it's not going to get you fired. I know sometimes I fly off the handle. Okay. So I won't be offended if you don't. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I appreciate you guys.